and I am going to just say welcome to the first ever virtual Ceilidgh celebrating 25 years, I'm going to lose my voice, of military family service programs supporting the Canadian Armed Forces, veteran and reservist families across the globe. Yes, it's so exciting. And my name is Margaret McKenzie. I am the virtual program coordinator for Military Family Resource Center Prince Edward Island. And I do training and program development so that all of our families can reach our programs regardless of their posted location. So this is so cool. Today for me is a dream come true. I'm going to tell you, in June, I heard J.P. Cormier sing a song called Hometown Battlefield. And I said, wow, you know, wouldn't it be great to do a virtual outreach piece celebrating military families with music? And look at us here today. Oh my goodness. So MFRC-PEI, we partnered with Jim from Guitars for Vets, which is a volunteer-led program that matches guitar instructors and veterans with PTSD and other service-related injuries to learn to play the guitar, putting the healing power of music into the hands of our heroes. So here we are today with a village of entertainers and community advocates coming together to celebrate the Canadian Military Family Services Program's 25th anniversary of services to our Canadian Armed Forces, our veterans and reservist families. So I'm very thankful on this United States Thanksgiving Day, and this session will be recorded so that we can share it with our viewers on our website. We have an action-packed agenda. So the virtual workshop have grown. Each and every week, this particular session has had another person wanting to join in and be part of it, and it's been really exciting for us. A Ceilidgh is an opportunity to share stories and through music. And a Ceilidgh is a maritime tradition. So basically, everybody here today is an adopted maritimer as we go through this lovely show. So today, So I wanted to thank Julie, who's our chair for the Military Family Resource Center in Prince Edward Island, because she is going live today, and they're having a volunteer connection celebration with the virtual Ceilidgh. So Julie, if you could put your camera on, we can see who's there. That would be great, just for a moment. Julie Ambrose. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
Can we have your camera to see the MFRC-PEI veteran volunteer connection?
There we go. Whoops. No, you get a close up.
Super. So we're getting ready for live on site. Emerald Junction is going to be live on site there. And do you want to do a quick scan of the people that are there, the volunteers and the board members? Thank you so much. This is going to be great. You're watching it live. And so this is actually a live and a virtual workshop, so we can, you know, anything is possible in a virtual workshop. It takes a village. So they're live from Charlottetown. Now tonight we want to welcome Karen McCrimmon, who's the MP for Canada Carleton. She is not only a member of Parliament, but she is a woman who is a veteran and who really gives back to the community, and I can't wait to introduce you to her. We have Jim Lothar from Guitars for Vets program, and we're going to show you a video all about what that is in case you didn't know. We have the honorary colonel of 14 Wing Greenwood, Terry Kelly, who was my idol when I was in university. He is a phenomenal community outreach man, and he wrote a song called A Pittance of Time, which I'll be sharing with you a little bit later. And we have his performance. He's not able to be here today, but he brought a video. We have Ryan Carey in the house, who is a veteran and a musician and a storyteller, and he is going to share his story with us as well. Not only that, we have two military spouses who are going to share their own personal journeys and the talent that they have. Nicole is going to sing Amazing Grace, and Allie has another song that she's penned specifically for this event. Oh my goodness, it gets better. Emerald Junction is going to be in the house as we see. They're a Prince Edward Island band, and they're going to be live and on site with volunteers at MFRC-PEI. And then we're going to wrap it up with the Canadian Military Wives Choir in Ottawa. So it's going to be a great night, and anything is possible in an interactive virtual workshop. So to start with, I'd like to introduce Karen McCrimmon. Karen, thank you so much for coming here today. We're excited that we have people from coast to coast to coast, from BC to Germany. And Karen, you are a woman who goes the extra mile. You're so positive, and you make such a positive impact on so many of our families. And the fact that you're here today is just huge, because I know in your busy schedule, and you took time for us. So I really am thankful for that. And I just want you to feel welcome, and we look forward to you opening the session, and over to you.
Oh, thank you, Margaret. You have me crying already, and Nicole hasn't even started singing Amazing Grace yet. Because I know as soon as I hear her start with Amazing Grace, the tears are going to come. I just feel so very blessed. I had a 31-year military career, 5 years as an administration clerk, reservist, and then 26 years as the navigator. And I've been all over the world, and I know the good work that Canada and the Canadian Armed Forces does right around the world, and I give thanks for that. And a long time ago, back in 1991, I was part of Gulf War I. And so I was away from my family for quite a bit. And I worked with my husband to try and put some structures in place to look after the people of the squadron when their spouses were deployed. And we ended up making a difference in people's lives. And then from there on, we just kept going. And I was really pleased to be part of the MFRC in Trenton, and I did the work in order to incorporate the MFRC so it would be eligible for grants and at the provincial and federal level. So I know how important it is. And I agree with it. Like, I've heard this before. We may choose to join, but our families are conscripted. Like, you know, I mean, we are, and it takes a family to do this. It takes a team. And the idea that I think we're just finally getting to the point where that acknowledgement of, without healthy families, the families that are able to deal with the stresses of military life, we're going to lose our operational capability. And we're going to lose our families, and we're going to lose that ability to make such a difference in the world. And now when I talk to people about it, we always talk about families. And finally, there's some recognition there. And to know that we have military spouses and military members with the kind of talent. And I think that's part of something that the military had missed for a lot of years, is recognizing that connection to the soul. And that's what music does, right? It heals. It heals so very much, and it's such an inspiration. And I know that when I'm hurting, that's what I want. I want music, even if it does make me cry, because it connects to that emotional, to that heart, to that soul. And I'm so pleased to be part of this that is bringing this music to touch people. And Nicole, I'm going to blubber when you're singing. Don't worry, it's not scary. And I just want to thank you for bringing that to all of us, and it matters. And Ali, it's the same. You know, you have a talent, you have a gift, and you've had to work through in order to bring a new gift to us. And I just admire your courage and that tenacity, that, you know, you don't give up. You just keep going. And I think that's what makes Canada pretty special, is that we're filled with people who just keep going. So, and our other, the wives choir, oh my goodness. They are just, I've seen them at 2 events in the last, they are everywhere. They are everywhere, and they're sharing that gift of music, that gift of soul, and when they perform, everybody stops because you can feel the heart in it. And that is just so remarkable in these days and ages. And to all the other musical gifts, I'd like to say thank you, because what you're giving us is a huge, huge gift. And when families and spouses give up of their military member to go and serve and protect the country and make a difference in the world, they're giving the gift to us of a country that sets an example for the rest of the world. It's that bright light in the rest of the world, and where we live in peace with each other, and we're happy that we're not all the same. And we're happy to welcome those who are struggling from other parts of the world, and we know that we're stronger because we're together. And that kind of togetherness, that kind of support, it just means all the difference in the world. And I've started to see now ethnic celebrations where at the Chinese New Year, they brought in Ottawa Valley fiddlers and Ottawa Valley dancers, and everybody was celebrating. And I just love that about our country, because we can all celebrate together. I just wanted to say thank you for including me. Thank you for everything you do and the difference you make. Music really matters, because it touches all of us in a place that sometimes we kind of hide away. So thank you for sharing your time and your talent with all of us today.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, Karen. And you're right, music heals, and it's such an inspiration. From there, we're going to meet Jim Lowther. But before we do, I'm going to share a video with you so that you can have a better feel for what Guitars for Vets Canada is all about. So this is a phenomenal organization, and I'm going to ask you to mute your microphone so that everybody can hear the video at a different time. That would be great. And Marion, I'm going to ask you to mute your microphone. Super. So I'm going to share the video with you now, and please don't touch your screen, and just give me a green check when you're back. Wow. So thank you so much, Jim, for giving us that video. And I would like to introduce you now to the founder of Guitars for Vets Canada, Jim Lowther.
Hey everybody, how's it going? So I just want to explain a little bit about Guitars for Vets. So you saw the video. Guitars for Vets is a program within Vets Canada. And Vets Canada is a volunteer-led organization. We help homeless and in-crisis veterans get off the streets and back on their feet. It was founded by myself and my wife in 2010 after I ran into, I was volunteering in a shelter, and I ran into, actually it was kind of funny, I drove by the place 7 Sundays in a row, and the day I went in there, the first guy I ran into was a guy I served with in the military, and I thought he was there doing the same thing I was doing, but he was homeless. And it was literally like someone hit me over the head with a shovel. And he pointed out I think three other veterans at that dinner that were homeless. And I couldn't believe it. I'm a veteran myself. I suffer with PTSD. And I was actually, that was my first time out of the basement in months. So that's how Vets Canada started. We went to, we took them to Veterans Affairs. We got them assistance. And we formed a small grassroots organization here in Halifax. And we started, honestly, I got pissed. So I was like, okay, so if it was that easy to find 4, what if we actually did a good old Army boots on the ground march, a boots on the ground walk? So that's what we did. We got a few guys together and we started going into the shelters, talking to people, and we started finding a lot of vets. We started finding a lot. So word kind of spread what we were doing, and we started getting calls from all over the country. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, okay, what am I going to do here in Dartmouth? You know, how do I help someone in Lethbridge, Alberta? But military connections. I was posted to Edmonton for 6 years, so I knew people in Edmonton. So I called my military buddies up and I said, do you guys know anybody in Lethbridge? And they did. So we literally had help for a homeless veteran in Lethbridge within a half an hour. And then I was like, okay, so this can be done. And that was the basis of Vets Canada. And to date, we've helped over 1,400 homeless and in-crisis veterans across Canada. And we have over 500 volunteers. We're in every major city. We're in every town, province. We're Veterans Affairs service providers in the field of homeless and in-crisis veterans. So yeah, we have a really good method of how we do business. We don't judge the vets that we find, the vets that we help. We don't judge them. We help them where they are. We don't point the finger at any other organization or the government. We're non-political. We believe in just actually doing the job. If you see a problem, you know, you actually have to do something about it. It's okay to complain. It's okay to complain if you're actually doing something. But that's what we do. So we just kind of do the business and we do the job. But now, where Guitars for Vets comes is that we were seeing so many of the vets we were helping were suffering with PTSD. And I started Guitars for Vets probably a year after Vets Canada got going. But we got so busy with Vets Canada, it was insane. So I couldn't put a lot of time into it until about 2 years ago. And you guys will all remember this, we had back-to-back suicides. We had soldier suicide was increased, veteran suicide, and I had to do something. You know, I had to do something. So, you know, I said, okay, well, what saved me was playing my guitar. You know, it helped me. It helped with the noise in my head. With you know, it's like despair that never ends. But it helped me. Picking up my guitar actually helped me break the cycle of despair, which I didn't know. You know, I was trying everything. I was on different medications. I was doing yoga. I was trying to meditate. You name it. I was doing it all to try to help myself. And then I picked up that guitar, and it helped me. I realized that I was drifted off for 5 or 10 minutes, and that's what I used to help me eventually back on my feet, and I mean my wife and family, of course. That I wouldn't have done it without them. But I figured if we can help these guys, even if they just take a guitar and bang on it, an hour, half an hour a week, it'll help them. It'll break that cycle of despair, and maybe they won't have that thought when they're having that thought. And then I figured, okay, how are we going to do this? So I know that everybody's bought their kid or their spouse a guitar, thinking, for Christmas, thinking that their kids, wanted to take lessons, they want to be rock stars, and so everybody has a guitar in their closet. Everyone has a guitar in their closet that's barely touched. So I said, okay, what if we get those guitars? What if we can get those guitars donated to the program? How we can hand out those guitars to Still Serving. I wanted to one thing with Vets Canada, we help only veterans. But this program I wanted to help Still Serving soldiers too, because I know I was a Still Serving soldier when I started suffering with PTSD. So a lot of them are suffering, so I want to include them as well, and RCMP too, of course. But so we came up with a way to use donated guitars, and I forced it through, put it out there that we were going to be doing this. And I thought, okay, well, maybe we can we're really good with volunteers. I'm a volunteer, my wife's a volunteer, we're all volunteers that do this. So I thought, okay, what if we had volunteer guitar instructors that would, just give 10 lessons. We'll say, we don't want to do anything too much, so we'll give 10 lessons. So we put this all together, and I started getting calls from Newfoundland to BC. Everybody wanted to donate guitars. Wow. And then I was like, I had a problem. I said I had too many guitars. So trying to think outside the box, I cold called Long McQuaid. And I said, I have this problem. I told them about the program. They love the idea of the program. I said, the thing we're running into is we're getting a lot of guitars, and I don't know what to do with them. And they went back and forth for a little while with Long McQuaid, and they were just talking about maybe try this and maybe this. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jeff Long, the son of John Long, from Long McQuaid, came on and he said, Jim, he said, I love this. He said, tell everybody from coast to coast that you can use every one of our stores as a drop-off point. And just like that, problem solved. So to date, we've been able to give, I think it's over that now, 700 guitars to Still Serving soldiers, veterans, and RCMP. And the messages we're getting back are even blowing me away. They're like, people that are saying, vets that are saying, they don't have to take their medication anymore. Saying flat out that the guitar saved their lives. Music is powerful. I think music is, the voice of God, I think. But I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be so successful. We have a great Guitars for Vets ambassador, national ambassador, Sean McCann. He came on board. He loved what we were doing, and he said, anything I can do to help. I didn't know Sean McCann from Adam, but how did it go? Through Twitter, we kind of got connected through Clara Hughes, actually. And now Sean's a good friend of mine, and we're going to be doing a big concert in Ottawa next year, November 10th, I think is the date, to raise money. We want to raise enough money to buy 1,000 guitars. So it should be good, with more to come.
Wow. So thank you so much for sharing that journey, Jim. We will certainly advertise the fundraiser for sure, and any information we're going to be sending in an after-session email. So we'll have links to Guitars for Vets so that people can find out how they can play their part.
Great. Yep. www.vetscanada.org. Just check us out.
Super. We'll put that in the after-session email. Many thanks for coming today. I know how busy you are, and I really, really appreciate all the information that you've given to us.
Oh, no worries.
and all the work that you've done with boots on the ground to save, music does save a life. So thank you.
Thank you.
So the next guest that we have coming to the virtual Ceilidgh is the Honorary Colonel for CFB Wing 14 Greenwood, Terry Kelly. Now, I first heard Terry many years ago when we were in Ceilidgh, and I remember hearing a video called A Pittance of Time. And I remember sharing this video with my children who were young at the time, and to remind them how important it is to stop and remember at Remembrance Day, and all throughout the year. So many years later, my daughter surprised me. You never know what they're going to say or do, or what pieces they're going to learn from your parenting. So she was working in a retail shop, and it was November 11th, and it was Christmas time, so the Christmas music was going. Well, on November 11th, she said no. She said, we need to give a pittance of time. And she took the information that Terry had said, and she turned off the music, and she led her whole team at this retail store to be silent for 2 minutes to thank and to be thankful. So Terry Kelly's music goes far and beyond, and he's just recently written a new song about military families called We Will Be There. So I'm going to share with you now his video. There's two videos, actually. The first one is him speaking for 2 minutes, and then he will share his song, We Will Be There. So again, if you can mute your microphones and give me a green check when you're back, I will send, you'll be able to see this lovely video of the Honorary Colonel Terry Kelly. I apologize if anybody had a hard time seeing this video. I will be sending them in the after-session emails as well. We will be putting it, the next video, I'll make sure to put in the link of the chat so you can follow along in the chat. Wow, oh my goodness. So Terry Kelly, for those of you who missed it, talked about dream adjustments, the importance of the cadet program, and the importance of the Military Family Resource Center, and the inspiration for the song, We Will Be There. So so we will be sending out the links later on. Wasn't that just phenomenal? Give me a happy face if you enjoyed that video. There we go, Rhonda. Yes, Nicole, do you have a question?
No, I thought it was a clap.
Oh, is it clap? A clap works too. Yes. It's all great. So now it's my privilege to introduce to you somebody who's actually in house tonight. It's Ryan Carey. He is a veteran, a musician, a community activist, and you know, we've had a chance to have a few practices before the virtual Ceilidgh. And I learned that Ryan is extremely well-read, and he is an insightful family man. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Ryan Carey today, and he's going to share his journey through music, and he will be sharing a video after he shares a little bit about his journey, and then I'll make sure the video goes in the chat as well so we can all see it. Ryan, over to you.
Hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
That's a start.
So thank you for coming out tonight. I really appreciate having you here.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you for having me. We may be inundated by children or a dog, but such is life in the family. So
we're a family resource center. If we can't be inundated and with joy, it's all good.
That's right.
So I've just introduced you, and if you wanted to share a little bit about your background.
Oh, certainly. Well, it's kind of there it's kind of summed up on that one page there, but basically I grew up in a small town southwest of Ottawa called Carleton Place, and I see Rhonda Pond and Kathy Nelson. There she is, my sister Kathy. I grew up with them from Carleton Place, so it's nice to see them here. I went on, after playing football there, I went on to university at Acadia in Nova Scotia. And then in my last year there, I was drafted, and I went and I played in the CFL. And then after, I ran a business. And then, you know, when the September 11th happened, I was in the middle of looking for new direction and a new job. And I had 3 different interviews, and I was accepted. I went in November, and I was on course in January 2002. So from there, I did basic training, and then I stayed in Ceilidgh and did French training for 9 months, second language training. And as during that time, I met my wife Sarah, and then we actually, while I was finishing my degree, we lived in St. Hubert, and then I went out to finish my courses in Gagetown, and then we moved to Petawawa, and then from Petawawa to Saint Jean, from Saint Jean back to Petawawa, and then back to Saint Jean, and here I am. So in between all that is a whole lot of stuff, but that's kind of in a military / civilian. Started as a civilian, kind of did my military service, and then unfortunately, you know, had to leave. But you know, the proudest thing I've ever done professionally is you know, lead a platoon of soldiers in combat operations, and you know, just living through that was professionally, that there's no greater thing I'll ever do in my life, and that's something that's difficult to contend with, because it's pretty hard after that type of intensity and experiencing that to not somehow be connected with it for the rest of your life.
Ryan, how has music come into your life? How has music been part of your journey?
Well, I grew up. My father was quite musical. He really enjoyed playing drums, harmonica. So I kind of always grew up with music in the house back when it was a record, and you had to actually, you know, put the record on and listen to the whole thing, or you'd probably scratch it if you didn't place the needle right because you wanted that exact song at this point in time. So albums were concept albums. They were a story, and artists painstakingly chose you know, the order of their songs. So that was a great experience. And then basically, you know, I had played music through my life just on the side, and I really got into playing guitar and music the further I got into treatment for, because I was dealing with post-traumatic stress. So I felt that there was something missing, that the medication that they were giving me wasn't right, and, you know, and this part was missing, this soul search, this whatever you want to call it. But I think art is a great healing place. It's a great place for veterans to go and work around the wounds that they have. You know, because I think we had this discussion, Margaret, but it's kind of like people want you to talk about something, but it's just, you know, sometimes the things are just way too painful. You just can't talk about them. But art allows you to work around that injury, that wound. So if you have a knee surgery and you come out of knee surgery, you're not going to work on your knee right away for rehab. But they may actually, you know, have you wiggle your toes and do some other exercises around it, so it'll strengthen eventually. And I think what art does is that it does that, and it strengthens you eventually if you stick to it. And that can come in playing the guitar, that can come in painting, that can come in writing, that can come in many forms. But I think for me that was the missing link. You know, there's really 4 things you got to do when you have post-traumatic stress, and I'm pretty sure we're starting to see it. Like I heard the gentleman talk about guitars for veterans, and that was just outstanding. Like I mean, we went through the same thing, and I didn't know that, you know, and it's helping me recover. And I used to see Terry Kelly play at Acadia University when I was out, and man, he just got on stage and got at it. It was awesome. It was so much fun going out to see him, and now he's presenting on this. So, you know, I think we can talk a lot about what's wrong, you know, with what's going on in the military and stuff. But I've also had an incredible. I've had some good medical experiences, and with some certain personnel that has saved me, and certainly with my wife. And my extended family. I mean, everyone's just been so patient and kind, and I think that leads into the song, you know, kind of where this all comes from.
Can you introduce the song for us?
Well, the song is called My Lady Soul, and it's, I don't know if you want to explain it, or if you want me to explain it, or if you wanted to play it first, and then I'll talk about it after. I'm not sure how you were doing for time, Margaret.
All right, we'll play it first, and you can share about it after.
Sure, sounds like a plan.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat as well this time, guys, and we will get that going. Allie, did you have a question?
I don't know what's happening here. There's something else that's playing.
I'm just going to close it out here.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, I just loved it. It was deathly silent, and I was feeling overwhelmed by how powerful the song was, and I just wanted to tell Ryan that.
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, hang on a sec. I'll put my, I had my,
there you go, yeah. Kind of got there.
I have myself muted and no video on because I can't trust myself to not do something stupid. So so that's what I do. I just really loved it, and I wanted to tell you that.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
He'll go away again.
So, I mean, getting into the detail of all the wording, man, it is really a song about collateral damage too, right? It's about what happens to the family when a soldier comes home with combat-related post-traumatic stress. It's very, very, very different than your garden variety anxiety. You have to understand that what Canadian soldiers did in Afghanistan was fulfill the role of the infantry, which is to close with and destroy the enemy. As an infantry soldier, that is your role. So we went forward and we engaged with enemy that were trying to kill us, and we killed them. It's that simple. And we had men wounded and killed in action doing that. And when you come home from that, let me tell you something, you're a mess. I don't care who you are. It's obviously a life-altering, life-changing moment. And I've said to everybody, those 6-7 months I spent there were the best 7 months of my, life, and the worst 7 months of my life, all into one. In speaking in a professional sense, there's a lot of, really big things that happen in your life, but it's so many emotions bottled into that. And then we come home and we just, think, yeah, I'm okay. I'm just going to keep going. And then, eventually it just hits you. It hits you fast. It hits you hard. And then now you can no longer function as the person you were, and you don't know what's going on. Your wife doesn't know what's going on. And, at that point in time, if you don't get help, you can just continue to do damage. So I think it's a song about that, but it's not all doom and gloom, that there is help and that it's there and that it's available. And the song, it really is a positive outlet of my love and expression for my wife and how much she means to me, and how much I appreciate her sticking with me all the time and trying to figure out and just not giving up like just great women do all the time. My mom's the same way. My sister's the same way. There's so many women I know that are like this. They just won't give up. And for me, it's a lifesaver.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, Ryan. This is a very enlightening song, and you have a passionate, deep voice that really speaks volumes, and it shares your story. So thank you so much. It's really a pleasure for us to have you here at our Ceilidgh, and just thank you for being part of it.
Thank you very much, Margaret. This is fantastic. I just love the direction this thing's going. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Our next guest to the virtual classroom is Nicole Blanche. And Nicole and I had the opportunity to meet when we were in Europe 4 or 5 years back. And I was posted to Germany, and Nicole was posted in Naples, Italy. And they invited me to join them on a trip to Ortona, Italy, for the Remembrance Day service, which was held in a Canadian War cemetery. And during that time, Nicole's husband was deployed, and she has 3 little boys that are darling in tow. And she sang Amazing Grace. And I tell you, I had goosebumps. So I'm going to introduce you now to my dear friend, Nicole Blanche, who's also part of the Canadian Military Wives Choir, who's going to share a little bit of her journey. Over to you, Nicole. Oh, you're muted. Let's unmute you there. There we go. That's good.
There we go. I was trying to make motions. Unmute my mic. Yeah. So I'm a military spouse of 15 years. My husband and our 3 boys have made a good life with the military. We've moved around quite a few times, but again, one of the best postings we had was in Naples, Italy, and probably one of the highlights for sure. And here's where we met you that one fine evening at the villa, and you were so kind and sat down and talked, and there was so much going on in my life at the time. There was, you call them stressors, so they're coming from 5 different directions, and they're major things. They're somebody passing away in Canada, and I couldn't make it back. I had the dishwasher breaking. I had problems with kids at school. I had my husband going away and being deployed. We had just got a brand new dog, and it was peeing and doing its thing all over the floor. Like, I had so many stressors coming at me in so different directions. So it was so nice to have you sit down and say, "Hey, I'm Margaret." And I went, "Hey, I'm Nicole, and I'm going to unload on you." So I guess that's what it's all about. And we really had a really good Canadian community in Naples, Italy. Every year, the Canadians that are posted over there have an opportunity to travel to Orotona, and that's where we can take part in the Remembrance Day ceremony there. It's not very far. It's on the other side of Italy, but for Canada, I guess that's a long way. The Moro River Cemetery there has 1,375 Canadians buried in that cemetery. And the day before Remembrance Day, you're allowed to go to the cemetery and place a flag, a Canadian flag, on each gravestone. So families get involved, and the best thing is to watch the kids go around with those little paper flags, and they place them ever so carefully, and they're told you have to place it on the right-hand side, just about 3 inches or so to the right. And they're so careful. So we have many pictures of wonderful little children running around, being so careful not to step on the graves and go around on the aisles. It's quite solemn, and I think everybody gets very touched when they go there. And being so far away from Canada, it's really nice to be there and participate in that. So when I sung Amazing Grace, it was about feeling more connected with Remembrance Day and experiencing the solemnness for Canadians and all who lost their lives in the war. Very heartfelt for me. We were able to make a greater connection to that Canadian history and Remembrance Day, and I felt I needed to express myself through music, given all the stressors in life. And people have already been saying it, how wonderful music is to release that stress and express yourself in a way and make you forget about your problems. So that becoming directly involved in that ceremony was wonderful for me and my family, because my husband was away at the time. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm really excited for you to sing. Would you mind singing, and then we can share a little bit about your art? I'm just going to mute my microphone so that you don't have any background noise.
All right. So Amazing Grace, written by John Newton. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I now I am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious is that grace appeared, the hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've known that day to sing God's praise. Then when we first begun, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. I was blind, but now I see.
Oh my word. I'm crying.
That makes me cry. Well, I'm glad I can't see you because I made it through without the lump.
That was beautiful, Nicole.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Can you share a little bit about the painting that we see in the picture? And this, by the way, folks, is not a photograph. It is a painting that Nicole did, a black and white painting. So go ahead and share a little bit about that.
So given the art and music theme, part of de-stressing for me is art. And you know, they have all those books now where you color. It's color therapy, really, was what it is. So I took some oil painting classes from an Italian artist in Italy, and it was my time to just sit there for hours and mix paint and put it on and fix it and redo things. So this little picture came along, I can't remember where I saw it, but I clipped it and I save as, and I have a folder on my computer so that if I ever get a chance to go painting, I say, oh, what do I want to paint? And I can go to that folder. And this little guy popped out at me. My Italian instructor said we needed to do something monochromatic, so I picked this black and white. And I just researched it actually for the Ceilidgh. I said, I better know a little bit about this picture if I'm going to put it up there. So a quick Google, and what I came up with is it was a photograph taken by Gerald Waldler of an Austrian boy named Werfel. And he's sitting outside an orphanage receiving a new pair of shoes donated by the Junior Red Cross in World War II. when I first saw the picture, I saw this boy that was so elated and happy that he has this new pair of shoes and he's hugging them. And then as you get a little closer to the photograph, you look down and you see that his shoes are very tattered and worn, and you think, oh, he's really happy. He's got a brand new pair of shoes. So it really touched me. And the photograph has been, I think it was first published in the Life magazine on December 30th, 1946. And then since then has obviously been painted by others and republished in other places too. So that's my Werfel.
He's such joy, and it just looks so much like a photograph. I can't believe you painted that. That is so wonderful.
It took hours. But I needed those hours, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's
phenomenal how music and art really does make a difference.
It really is.
And we've seen that from Jim, we've seen that from Ryan, from you. And just thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so excited. This is awesome. And I'm set for next year. So
there we go. Second annual. There we go.
I'm working on a new piece.
Bigger and better. So our next up to the virtual classroom is my friend Allie Davis, and Allie is in British Columbia. So as far as possible away as I can be from Germany, we're very far, but we're so close in the virtual world, right, Allie? It's great.
Yes, we are.
And so a friend of mine, we have a friend in common, and this friend suggested to Allie that she should maybe put a song into the Ceilidgh and share it with us. Now, Allie is a military spouse, and she has all kinds of experience about deployment and traveling. And music has always been her life until 3 years ago when she was in a car accident with a distracted driver. Now she has a brain injury, and she'll share with you a little bit about that. So when her friend said to her, you know, you should try this Ceilidgh, you put a song together. So she put pen to paper and wrote this beautiful song that talks about deployment. It talks about traveling. It talks about sucking it up. It talks about the parents. And we're going to have you, Allie, share the song with us, and the words are on the screen. So whenever you're ready, my dear.
What do you want me to do the song now?
Yeah, we'll do the song first.
Sure. Well, it looks like it's that time again. Back on the bed. Let's all make there's some nervous laughter. What is rolling around my head? But we don't know what we signed up for. Only I had a dime. Every city friend who said that always the very worst time in the dark book. A little bit better, and I like to get a little bit fatter. Start planning, take a back into just a little room time. Look at the map of the world again. In the places I've been, my plan will be okay. Suck it up for one more day. Write a letter so you know love is with you wherever you go. No matter how much is true, I'll be here at home, waiting for you. Sometimes it's a lonely ride. I prefer being by your side. Life goes on here every day. Special moments while you're away. Oh, and I'll record each one for you. Birthdays, anniversaries too. So many stands apart. We're together here in my heart, and the doors up a little bit check the mailroom time. Look at the map of the world again. There's a place where I've never been. Smile so you know it'll be okay. Suck it out for one more day. Write a letter so you know I love is with you wherever you go. No matter what this much is true, I'll be here at home, waiting for you. Folks called the other night. TV news didn't quite upright. Your mom and I cried for a while. Talk about how we missed your smile, then we lost it in your silly grin. Talk until we laughed again. We sure hope you know I'm proud of you here at home. And the dog looks a little bit sadder, and I like to get a little bit better. Start planning, get packages, check the mailroom times. Look at the map of the world again. There's a places I've never been. Smile so you know I'll be okay. Suck it up for one more day. Write a letter so you know I love is with you wherever you go. No matter what this much is true, I'll be here at home, waiting for you. Here comes the Packers now. The new city will do it somehow. Be a boss is once again. Say goodbye to all our friends, and we'll tell their kids it will be an adventure. Oh, they'll understand. It's tough sometimes, but I know I do it all again. Oh, and I know a little bit sadder, and I like to get a little bit sadder. Start planning care packages, check the mailroom time. Look at the map of the world again. There's a places I've never been. Smile so you know it'll be okay. Suck it up for one more day. Write a letter so you know our love is with you wherever you go. No matter what this much is true, I'll be here at home, waiting for you. Are we lost?
No, we're still here.
I'm like, oh, did everybody leave?
No, it's quiet. This is a fabulous song, says Allison Durocher. Yes. Oh, what a great song.
Thank you
for playing it. So
you're
tell
very
me a little
welcome.
bit about the song. How did it come to be?
Well, I was going to say, first I was with the MFRC, you know, I was on the board of directors in Aldergrove and the Esquimalt and National Board in Ottawa, and did all things. I got really connected with a lot of different families. And when our mutual friend Karen, when she told me about this, or she Facebooked me, and I was just lying there in bed and I was thinking, what does it even mean, a military family? And the first picture I got was our dog Gilly, and as soon as the kit bag goes on the bed, and that would be the first thing, and Gilly would just she would just go off in the corner and she'd just be depressed, so depressed, and it was so that was sort of the start. And then really most of the song just kind of wrote itself, like anyone who does, I guess, any kind of art, you just when it's going to happen, I just pick up the pen and you can't stop it, right? So it's a little bit of all of our stories, really.
And you said that you held the pen, but it's really our song. In the practice session, you said that. I thought that was really poignant.
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting. And when I made a little video, my girlfriend and I just recorded it. With my injury, I'm only good for about 15 minutes at a time usually. Look at me, I'm here over an hour. This is awesome. So my slur and stutter, just ignore that. But so we did it in a day, but in little segments, and then I made a video of it, and it was friends of mine. Like, I have a girlfriend who had 2 sons, both serving in Afghanistan at the same time. I've had, you know, my own experience and other people's, and the verse about the parents was something I did later that I really don't, I've never done that before. Someone asked me to write a verse for parents, and I had to really think about that, and then because it wasn't so much my experience, but I had so many people share that experience with me that it just felt right. And so that's what it's about. Because military, I was thinking, you know, my girlfriend Beth is here, and this is how come it's our song, right? It's our song because my girlfriend is in Cancun. She should be sipping umbrella drinks and things, but she knew I'm doing this. So what is she doing? She's standing there by her phone. She's probably watching it on her phone, and how can it be anything but our story? Because that's just who we are as a community, right? Yeah, that's how that works.
Can you share a little bit? I just put the beautiful paintings on the screen, and you've done a series of paintings with poppies and fireworks. Can you share a little bit about that? All things new and as dark as night.
Yes, well, early on in my recovery, so my accident was just about 22 months ago, and for the first 6 months speaking and everything was quite difficult, and it took me to about 18 months to even be able to barely listen to music, and I started playing music at literally 1 minute at a time because my brain would vibrate so much, but there was all this stuff inside me that I didn't know how to get it out. I'd never painted before or anything, but so one day I was looking through some of, I like photography, and so I was looking through some photography I had done, and I thought I'd like to paint that, and so I just started painting, and then actually Beth's husband Frank and his brother Neil and a buddy of mine Ron, who'd been in Vietnam, and just a recurring thing was how fireworks just took these people right out. And I wanted to give them that back. I wanted to somehow let them see fireworks or be around fireworks where it wasn't so painful and terrifying and all-consuming for them. So that's where that came from.
Thank you. They're just stunning, and you have a whole series of them. So Ali, it was a pleasure working with you. Ryan, you have a question? Did you want to unmute, Ryan? Do you have a question, Ryan? Oh, I guess not. Sorry. He must have been clapping instead of sending that. But so Ali, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure practicing with you and seeing your growth and seeing the beauty that you've shared with us. And I'm excited to share, if it's okay with you, the video that you sent with me in the after session email. Would that be okay?
Yeah, yes, please do. And thank you again for putting this together. I really see you as such a gatherer, and it's a gift. It's a gift to work through all of this with all of us, and it's what you've done here is really a really good thing.
Thank you so much.
Because it was a lot of work, I'm sure, and I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
And to Nicole, it was beautiful. Thanks. I just wanted to say that. Okay, I'll mute and everything now.
Oh, no, it's good. So I'm a little bit choked up from all the beautiful music, so there we go. Our next performance is going to be live on location, and we're going to be hearing, and this is at the MFRC-PEI. They're having a volunteer celebration event. And Emerald Junction is a duo with Ron and Ann. I'm not sure if Ann is there yet. I know she was running a little bit late, but Ron wrote this song that we're going to be hearing, and it shares the struggle as he saw it, because he's not as familiar, but it shares the struggle as he saw it, PTSD with of a military soldier. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you tonight Ron and Ann from the PEI band called Emerald Junction, and they are together live and on site. So Julie, we have Ann with us as well? No. Okay, so Ron, can you share a little bit about, first of all, who Emerald Junction is and how the inspiration for All's Fair came to be?
Well, you mentioned Emerald Junction is myself, Ron Kelly, and...
Ron, can I get you to come closer to the mic?
Whoop. Let me just adjust this here.
Oh. Sorry about that. There we go.
I could go down on my knees and do it, I suppose, but...
So we're having technical difficulties. Please stand by. Are you going to do a song and dance for us, Julie, while we're waiting?
Well, I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us. It's been great so far. I know everybody in our group has been clapping and loving all the entertainment and a few tears as well. So thanks so much, Margaret, for pulling all this together, and thanks to all the participants. It's been great so far. And a big thanks to Ron for being so flexible with his location as things have been going along here. So I think we're all ready.
Yeah.
Here's Ron.
Super, thank you. So Ron, there we go. If you could just share a little bit about All's Fair.
Well, I'll tell you just a bit about Emerald Junction. My partner, Ann Quinn, can't make it here tonight. She's a truck driver, and it's a very busy time of the year in her industry, and she was hoping to be here, but it looks like she's not going to be able to. But we got together about 3 years ago, and around the same time, as you may recall, there was a lot of controversy and discussion in the public about the treatment of our soldiers and vets in terms of especially PTSD and all the effect that that was having on them personally and on their families in particular. And we're, as you mentioned earlier, we're not military families, but we do have extended family that were in the military, or friends, or in some cases friends of our children. So we were hearing the stories both in the public and through the grapevine, I guess you'd say. And so we wrote this song as sort of our attempt to shine a light on that and show, from what we could tell, talking to people, what the effect of PTSD was, in this case, on a couple, a military serviceman and his wife. Now, I'm going to have to advise a little bit here today because my partner isn't here for this, so I'm not going to be able to sing the female part. So we did a slight revision of things today to come up with a solo version, and it basically talks about how the individual is trying to cope with the effects of PTSD and how that's affecting his relationship with his wife and the uncertainty of the future and what they're trying to deal with as they go forward. That's the essence of it.
Wonderful. And can we share this? So we'll be sharing this video in the after session email as well. So that would be great.
Okay.
And I think you've recorded it with Ann. So can we share that recording with Ann?
Go ahead if you want. Sure. Yeah.
Super. Thank you. So whenever you're ready, we'd love to hear it.
Sure. When I hear the screen door slam, I can't remember where I am. I fight the urge to duck and run and hang my head and come undone. I still see the earth explode, smell the blood there in my nose, feel myself reaching for my gun. Well, all's fair in love and war, but there's nothing fair here anymore. All's fair in love and war, but there's nothing fair here anymore. Well, it's just some kids running up the stairs in their TV chairs. I wonder if this will ever end. I've lost my love and my best friend. I know she's tried to understand, but she no longer knows this man. Where I've gone, she just can't comprehend. Well, all's fair in love and war, but there's nothing fair here anymore. All's fair in love and war, but there's nothing fair here anymore. What's the future hold for us? Will we be scattered to the wind like dying leaves falling from the trees? To lie there gathered into rows, the dust of branches thin, cast aside so no one ever sees. We can't take it anymore, we've been wounded to the core. Where's the help that we were promised, like the chairs around the common? You sit there on rails secure, you don't care what we endure, and fight us over every dot and comma. Well, all's fair in love and war, but there's nothing fair here anymore. All's fair in love and war, but there's nothing fair here anymore. No, there's nothing fair here anymore. No, there's nothing fair here anymore.
Wow, fantastic. Oh my goodness, that speaks volumes to our families. Any thoughts or comments about any of the music we've heard so far, if you just want to raise your hand? Wow, thank you so much, Ron, for singing this and for writing this beautiful song that really we can relate to. Man, so many of us can relate to.
That was our honor. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Tracy, did you have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
That was really quite beautiful. Quite moving.
It is, isn't it, Tracy?
It speaks volumes of how sometimes we feel like we're drowning in government bureaucracy. Thank you. It's really beautiful.
I'm so glad you're here tonight, Tracy. It's really nice that you were able to. How did you find out about the Ceilidgh?
I am a member of the Military Wives Choir.
Oh, super.
So I missed my rehearsal tonight because I'm not feeling well. So I was fortunate enough to come and listen this evening, and I feel very fortunate
So and Nicole, I never knew, Nicole's in my choir, and I've never really heard her sing all by herself like that before. It was quite touching.
Yes, isn't it? And you know, that's a phenomenal segue, because the next guest and the final guest to our Ceilidgh is the Canadian Military Wives Choir. And so we have two videos to share with you. One is Ramona and Lise, who are actually members of the choir, and they're going to share what it means to them to be part, and tell you a little bit more about the Military Wives Choir. And then we're going to wrap up with a beautiful song called Stronger Together, and that's going to be our last song of the evening. So here's the first where you'll meet some of this, two of the members from the Military Wives Choir. I'm sorry, we're having technical difficulties on that last video. I can send it in the after-session email, but what I'd like to do is explain to you a little bit about the Military Wives Choir. As you could see, it's a real community. And we're going to be sharing with you now the song that Together We Are Stronger. And this song, as they said in the video, is a song that was written originally by the United Kingdom Military Wives Choir, and they're singing it today with permission. So without further ado, I'm going to give you the Military Wives Choir. And here's a video just to give you a taste of their beautiful sound. The joy, the smiles on the face in this picture is just so contagious. And what a beautiful voice, what a beautiful capturing of the voices. There are times when I need somewhere to belong, and together we are stronger, we can overcome. The Canadian Military Wives Choir is such a phenomenal community. You know, it's all about community and helping one another. And yes, Shelley, I see we should have a choir in Germany. I think that would be phenomenal. Why not, right? Well, thank you so much for coming out tonight. And I'm going to be giving you more clear videos in the after-session emails, and you'll have some of the words as well. And if you want to be part of the Canadian Military Wives Choir, here's some of their information, and we'll be sending you this out again in the after-session email. So I guess thank you from the bottom of my heart for each one of you for coming and for being part of this first ever virtual Ceilidgh, where we're celebrating Canadian Armed Forces, veteran, reservists, RCMP, and all first responder and their families, and we're doing it through music. So much talent in our community. I'd like to give a beautiful bouquet to Nicole Blanche and Allie Davis for having the courage to sing and share your voices. They were just stunning, and share a little bit of your story. Thank you to Karen McCrimmon and Guitars for Canada, Guitars for Vets Canada, sorry, for putting the healing power of music into the hands of our heroes. Thank you to Honorary Colonel 14 Wing Greenwood, Terry Kelly, wow. And we'll be sending you the videos if you didn't get a chance to see them. Ryan, thank you so much for coming out and sharing your music and a little bit of your journey. Nicole and Allie, thank you. And Emerald Junction, phenomenal. And Canadian Military Wives Choir. So Ryan, sorry, I've cut you off. So yes, I just heard you there.
Sorry, I'm eating pizza and the kids are doing their thing while my wife works, so.
No sorries for eating pizza. Is there enough for all of us? We can have virtual pizza. It's all good.
I got the fire going too.
Oh, lovely. So I just wanted to say that it takes a village, and thank you so much. This is just really a real joy for me to share this with you, and we look forward to next year, as Nicole and Allie were saying, bigger and better. Tracy, did you have a question?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you so much for coming out, and when you leave, there's going to be an evaluation that comes up on your screen. We really appreciate if you can fill it out for us, because it makes things our presentations better for next time. And Shelley, you're right, so many talented people tonight, and you're welcome. It was my pleasure and my honor to meet all these phenomenal artists. Julie Ambrose, I'm going to get you to unmute. Ron, thank you so much for coming out and for being part of this. And in order to log out, you just click. Julie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I'm on the other screen.
No problem. So I just wanted to thank Ron again for that beautiful, moving song.
I know, it was really special. That brought tears to my eyes. And
yeah.
Tracy's comment. I don't know, we have the lights down so we could see better, but the crew's all out there.
Oh. So I'm going to stop the recording, and if anybody has any comments, I'll be here, so you can